Hi everybody, my name is Achi. Thank you for coming to watch another video on my channel. If you're new here, my name is Achi. I'm a transgender woman.
A tranny.
Basically, this is my channel where I talk about everything that I use in my life, the things that I do, the ventures that I take on, so on and so forth. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about passing tips that I use and that I have learned in my transition. And so I chose to phrase it this way, and this is honestly my 5th time filming this video, so I'm going crazy. But I know that we live in a world that is very binary, and I know that we are kind of trying to dismantle that binary and fight against these gender norms, and passing shouldn't be something that is kind of held to the degree that it is. I am completely aware of that. But the thing is that especially for a transgender woman of color like me, it is kind of unsafe to not go with those kind of traditional norms that we unfortunately have. And you know, me as a very feminine transgender woman really wants to present myself this way, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But it is a really hard video to make because, you know, it does kind of go against some things in some ways. But I'm just saying that this is the stuff that I use to appear more feminine. And that's the word that I'm going to be using today. But yeah, with that out of the way, really hard to say. But yeah, with that out of the way, we're going to go to the number one thing. And the number one thing for me was to get rid of my facial hair. So if you didn't already know, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, because I share old pictures of myself a lot, more than I probably should have, but it helps other people to see other people's starting points. As you can see, I used to have a mustache and a goatee, a lot like my dad, and I really hated it. It made me feel so dysphoric. It sucked having to shave it like every 2 days, and it was kind of the worst. The other thing is that facial hair in general can hide a lot of like the shapes and the points and stuff of your face. So something that was really important for me was to get laser hair removal. I got laser hair removal not from a really expensive place. I went to kind of a cheap little clinic, and they did it for 25 bucks a session on my mustache, on my goatee, and you know, it was really quick. It was really painful. I will say that, honestly, very painful. I hate it. I hate doing it still, but it was definitely worth it. It was definitely one of the most impactful things that I did for my transition. And if I had the money, I would definitely go get my laser hair removal done on my legs. I don't have a lot of leg hair, to be honest with you, but I just hate shaving. So I would definitely, that is on the next to-do list. But I will end with this. I will say that taking away your facial hair, as you probably already know, helps a lot with dysphoria, and it does help a lot with kind of being perceived as more feminine. Moving on to the number 2 spot, was I learned to wear everything high-waisted. I love high-waisted things. High-waisted things are amazing. Let me just preface this with the fact I used to sag a lot. I used to be hanging out with my friends and stuff. We used to all sag our pants, and I did not know the slightest thing about wearing something above my hips and on my waist. So, you know, for me personally, learning about high-waisted pants and shorts and just basically high-waisted anything was a godsend. It does definitely flatter my curves a lot more, and it does help me feel a lot more feminine. High-waisted things are amazing. They really do kind of make your curves and your waist all seem a lot more flowy, and you know, it just really flatters me personally. I would never wear something on my hips ever again, and yeah, that's something that really helped me. Kind of like a little one, but a big one at the same time, because it changed how I kind of wore a lot of things, even down to the sweats that I'm wearing under this blouse right now. But moving on to number 3, we have our eyebrows. Now, you can be the judge of this if you like my eyebrows or not. I think that they're looking down at the monitor, I think that they're pretty nice. But basically, it doesn't really even have to be the nicest brows in the world. You know, obviously, the nicer your brows are, the better. But as we have seen in 2020 and just all of our lives, there is a ton of different ways to do eyebrows. I think what matters the most to look feminine, and as a passing tip from me for me, would probably be just to pluck them in general and to fill them in. Plucking your eyebrows is basically getting a tweezer and taking all the ones out that don't kind of line up for one of these consistent shapes. I like mine's a little bit like medium. Some people like them thin, some people like them really heavy. But I think the thing that does help you feel a lot more feminine and being perceived as a lot more feminine is to basically just have them done generally. I will literally not ever leave the house without my eyebrows done. I could leave with no makeup on at all, but I will always do my eyebrows done just because it is something that is so essential to me. And that kind of takes us to our fourth thing, one away from the last, and that's going to be makeup. So doing your makeup is really important, you know, for me as a woman. I love doing my makeup, and being able to do my makeup is something that I never really got the chance or was accessible for me to do for a really long time. And doing my makeup just helps me feel so much more feminine. It helps me feel like I can do anything, you know, like when I do a nice like full glam and I'm going out to like somewhere, you know, probably before COVID, it just feels really good. It feels really good, and I feel like my putting on makeup, putting on like a full face increases my passability by like 3,000,000%. And the reason I'm going to say that is because with makeup, you can do so many things. You can like accentuate your eyes and make them look bigger. You can make, you know, certain parts of your face that wouldn't necessarily seem feminine, feel more feminine and look more feminine. If you have like a really strong jaw, there's a lot of really amazing makeup videos and tips that you can do to kind of counteract that with the power of makeup. And you know, I've spoken to a lot of trans women, and a lot of them don't use makeup. And the reason why some of them have told me that they don't like using makeup is because they just don't know how to. And learning is both really expensive and really hard and really time consuming. And so this is a tip that I will give you, is to practice, practice, practice. I literally do my makeup on days where nobody will see it. I love to practice my makeup, and this might be a personal thing, but I wanted to get good at my makeup, so I practiced every day. And I feel like without just straight up practicing, it's going to be really hard to get better, and you're kind of staying in that space where, you know, where you're like, I really want to do the eyeliner, but like I don't know how to. And so let me just show you one of my first like makeup looks after I started like medically transitioning. So here I was, you can see the wing, totally not sharp. You can see that things are not looking completely glam, but you know, through the power of life, I kind of made it to this point where I'm very, very happy with my makeup, and it does help me feel a lot more femme. So that's definitely something I would pass on to you, is to definitely to practice as much as you can and to make a really strong effort to kind of learn that. And not, this is one thing that I will say. Another thing that I will say is less is definitely more when it comes to makeup. This is something that I have heard from a lot of trans YouTubers, that less is definitely more. You definitely, if I was in the beginning of my transition and I didn't want to be seen, and I literally just didn't want to exist, pretty much. I didn't want to be perceived. I would not put on like a very bold red lip. I know that it's very easy to get like excited with things. And I got so like excited with shit like when I was inside the house and stuff like that. But when I went out into the world and I wanted to try my best to pass, I always kept it real low key. I always like did like a nice little like tinted red lip, or I just did like a lip gloss or something like that. Because the thing is, those really like bright colors and stuff like that, they are really pretty. But the thing is they do attract a lot of attention to your face. It's pretty much just like going through like your site, and all of a sudden you see this really like bright purple or bright yellow or something, and it's gonna make you look at their face a lot more, which is is, especially for me in the beginning of my transition, was something that I didn't want. It will do wonders and it helps so much. There are like so many trans women that have not even started hormones that look so feminine, and it's all because they know how to do amazing makeup. And I really like envy and respect them because they can do amazing things with like a brush. I think I'm pretty competent, but yeah, that's gonna end it. That was a really big one. I know it took way too long on that, but moving on to the very last one, it's gonna be mannerisms. Now, these are things that have kind of like helped me so much when it comes to kind of being out in the public, especially, and that is like these three things probably: posture, the way that I walk, and the way that I sit. And I'm gonna say this because there are certain ways that women sit, stand, keep their head up that most men don't do. You know, like most men, when they sit in the chair, they spread their legs and they just like chill like this, you know? And that's not usually, oh my gosh, why am I stuttering? That's not usually what women do. Women usually, when they sit, and I will put videos from my iPhone of me doing these things while I talk. Usually women sit with their feet like crossed or just together, or to the side. They never really have their legs open. There are outliers for sure, just like everything in the world, but that's the majority what I have noticed and what I have been like taught and what's been conveyed to me by the women in my life. But basically for sitting, yes, I would say that that's very important. And then for walking, I would say to not walk with your feet apart. And I know at first it's probably like, well, what does that mean? When I walk, I just walk. I don't think about how I'm walking. But men usually walk in a certain type of way. Men usually walk like, and you know what, I will take another video and put a video in. Men usually walk like this, and women usually walk like this. So women usually walk with their feet closer together when they walk, and that helps to give a lot more feminine of a look. A little bit kind of like a strut, but not really a strut. And that's really important to not kind of be perceived. This video is really like, why am I telling other people how to live their life? But then again, I think about it and it's like, there's probably a trans girl that feels exactly the same way that I do. And so, you know, in that way, this video is helping. But at the same time, like, I hate keeping like societal norms and gender norms and stuff like that. But the thing is, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. But okay, last thing, posture. I used to have really bad posture. I was literally the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And sometimes for videos, I go like this a little bit just because like the angle's a little bit better. But being completely honest with you, it's really important that you keep your like chest out and your neck up when you are walking, sitting, doing anything, because most women have really amazing posture. So try to not be like this because that's really like unflattering. Not even if you're like trans, but just in general, it's very nice to have good posture. I'm sure your parents have told you that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for my list of things that are really, really important to me. And I do just want to say one more time, I know I've been talking about the whole freaking video, but these are gender norms set to us by our binary society. And I know that sometimes it sucks that we have to abide by those things and we have to do things like that. But to be honest, this is a lot of things that women do. So yeah, if you think this was helpful, if you're going to listen to some of these tips, please let me know in the comments below. Please let me know if you disagree with this list. Please let me know if you think I did something wrong, because you know, I'm here to learn and I'm here to kind of be a good advocate for my community and stuff like that. And so I only want to do anything, I only want to ever help. I don't want to do the opposite. So if this video didn't sit well with you, then let me know. But if it did sit well with you and you feel like you got some help from this, then please, by all means, give this video a like and subscribe if you like me. But besides that, that's pretty much it for today's video. You might notice, if you're a subscriber, that I am in a different location. I actually switched the rooms in my apartment. So this is now the recording room, or like the studio, and the other room is the bedroom now. I like it a lot more this way. I feel like I have a lot cuter of like a background, and yeah, I just wanted to say that because somebody would probably just be like confused as to why I'm in a different place. But that's pretty much it. That's it for this video. Thank you all so much. I love all of you. And if you want to, you know, like hang out with me a little bit, then just like hit that subscribe one more time. Bye. Love you all.